Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children over the age of 21, welcome to the Hop Nation USA podcast. We are all gathered here today for episode 38. I am here, as always, with my hosts.
Wait a minute. As always?
Now, let him get through the introduction before he even...
I feel like you've stopped me at that exact point before.
I have.
And what I mean by that is because when I'm on the show, I'm always here with you guys. You guys don't, cut out like I do from time to time.
That is true. I apologize, Sam. That was uncouth of me.
Now, let him finish and introduce us.
Yes, exactly. So as I was saying, we are here today with Adam and Steve. What's up, guys?
Hey, Sam. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, ready to get on with episode 38. We're inching closer to 40, which means we're inching closer to 50. Which would be a really big episode.
Which is inching closer to 52, which would actually be the year.
Right. A year of podcasts, something we can all celebrate.
And that's the one that I will be excited for is 52.
All right.
That's the one I got marked on my calendar.
52.
The big 5-2.
It's coming up in March.
I'll be there.
A few short months away.
I'll be there.
Think about it. By the time we hit March, dude, we're going to be well past some of the winter months, and we're going to be on the pathway to spring. Mm-hmm. And that is going to be incredibly exciting, at least for me. I hate winter. All right, so I'm super excited, if you can't tell, for this episode here today, 38, because we are here on site at Grist House Brewery in Millvale, Pennsylvania. I know one of my all-time favorite Pittsburgh breweries, and I know you guys here love them too. And we are here with the owners, Kyle and Sean from Grist House. So Kyle, why don't you go ahead and say hello?
How's it going, everybody? This is Kyle. Good to see you guys. Can't see you, but good to make your acquaintance.
Sure, they're all beautiful.
We have a very beautiful listener group out there. At least we like to think so.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, there's some hotties out there.
Right. So, there's some hotties in here, so we got to assume there's some hotties out there as well. Right. And Sean, we're here with Sean as well. Sean, why don't you say hello to the audience out there?
Hello, everybody. This is Sean. Can't see you, but I'm sure you're beautiful as well.
Excellent. So these guys are going to be joining us all show, and we are going to be talking beer. Imagine that, huh?
Thank God for that.
I know. Another episode, some more beer chat.
That's awesome. I never get to do this, so this is really out of the ordinary for us, guys.
Yeah, I was gonna save the questions till later, but I was gonna say, as the owner of the brewery, do you guys ever get to talk about beer?
No.
Avoid it as all.
Yeah.
I'm sure nobody comes in and just asks about everything going on in this cool establishment here. Yes. What's that? What's in this beer? How is this made?
What do you make beer out of?
Yes. What are the main ingredients of
Constantly.
That's excellent. So another thing that we love about getting to interact with, especially the Pittsburgh craft beer community, is that we get to feature their beers on the show today. So all show we're going to be drinking and enjoying Grist House beers. And guys, what do you think? We should just probably get into the first beer, huh?
I think so. I think it's high time.
Yep.
It is sitting here in front of us, tempting us. So Kyle or Sean, why don't one of you guys introduce what we're going to be drinking on the show first today?
We'll be drinking one of our main staples, always on tap, and sometimes we run out like once a year. But sorry for those people who are listening that have experienced that before. But we always have it on tap. It's called Camp Slap Red. This is a hoppy red ale, actually one of the first homebrew recipes that we really named, and we're super excited about, because we were going camping in West Virginia. We wanted to brew a red ale that slapped us in the face with hops, so we called it Camp Slap Red, and that's how the name was born, and here we sit drinking it. It's a overly hoppy American red ale. Nice malty flavor, and through it finishes with a nice malty crisp bitterness. It's tasty.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, just for the sake of you and Sean, when we taste beers, we do it a little pretentious, a little bit,
Nice.
But we don't take it too seriously. But we like to just start by remarking on the looks of the beer, and then we'll move on to the nose of the beer, and then we'll finally actually take the taste of the beer.
Cool.
So I guess we can just start with how it looks right away.
Hold it up to the light.
It's my favorite part of the beer.
Yep.
And I tell you, it looks exactly like a red ale. It looks as it should.
Has some great head retention on it. Mine's still hanging around here a little bit. Some very nice clarity to the beer.
Yeah, very clear, nice copper color to it.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a sniff here and see what notes we're getting here on the nose.
Well, I can definitely see where the slap is coming from.
Nice.
Smells hoppy.
Yep.
Yes, it does.
Now, Steve and myself, I'm a true hop head. Steve enjoys IPAs, but Adam, he's the resident hop hater, I should say.
Nice.
So I'll be curious to see what you think of this hop loaded beer.
Now there have been hoppy beers that I do enjoy.
Right.
And as always, we always discuss, go in with an open mind.
Every
Go
beer.
in with an open mind. So that's what we're doing here.
Yep, that's what you gotta do.
Absolutely. All right, well let's get into this one, gentlemen. Cheers, I appreciate it.
Cheers.
Cheers and thank you.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no
Get
problem.
some good sound effects here.
Make sure we
Clinking of glasses. Now, my
Sounds of
first,
enjoyment.
the sounds of enjoyment. That is absolutely correct. And the first thing that I noticed about this beer is, you mentioned, Kyle, that it was full of hops, and I can taste the hops. They're very prominent in this beer, but it's incredibly smooth.
Yeah.
It goes down very, very easily.
Yeah, it really does. You get both the malt profile and that hoppy bitterness, and I like that. They play with each other. Mm-hmm. But it's really smooth on both ends. Neither overpowers the other.
Yeah, and it's very balanced.
Yeah.
It's like a 50-pound toddler playing with another 50-pound toddler. And they're just going at it like mini
Doesn't go up or down.
Yeah. I was gonna say mini sumo wrestling, but I guess the
funnier picture.
teeter-totter makes sense
I'm
too.
wondering-
But yeah, I love it.
I'm wondering where you're getting 50-pound toddlers.
You ever watch Maury?
I can't say that I have.
Well, they're on there.
Maybe you should watch Maury. But we'll save that for the Maury podcast or the 50-pound toddler podcast.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, Adam, what's your thoughts on this beer?
Wait. It'd be called the Maury Podvich.
Yeah, that was good.
Yes.
Can we put a pin in that one?
Yeah.
It's like another winter project.
Yeah, another winter project.
All right.
But go ahead, Adam.
Episodes of Maury.
So for me, with the hoppiness, I went in a little uneasy, but I gotta say, I like it. On the front end, yeah, you can definitely tell that it's gonna be a little bit bitter, but it smooths out quite nicely, I will say, to a very enjoyable finish. That's the way I would put it, a good enjoyable finish. So this glass is gonna be empty by the end of the segment. I'll say that right now.
I'll take that
As
every
it
time.
should.
Yep, that's good.
Now I gotta ask, it's certainly, you can taste the hops in there. I am unable to put my finger on what they are. Are you able to share that with us, or is it a Grist House secret in terms of which hops are used in this beer?
No, we use a lot of Citra and Amarillo in this beer, and because there's dark malts in it, well, not dark, but mid malts in it, those always play with the flavor of the hops as well. So that gives you that undetectable sense, in my opinion. If you were doing like a nice light pale ale or something of that sort, you might be able to pick out Citra hops or Amarillo hops, but in this kind of beer, it's definitely a bit harder to try to pinpoint a hop due to the fact that the malt bill plays with the hop profile so much.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I can say for myself, I am certainly not well tuned enough to start picking that stuff out. I willfully admit I am an amateur at this, but damn it, I enjoy it.
I willfully admit I'm an amateur too. I'm only 30 years old. I got like at least 50 more good years of drinking. So maybe we'll do this podcast again when I'm like 80, and then I'll tell you I'm a professional.
All right. Well, we'll still be doing it, so we're going to hold you to that. By God, if they have to wheel us in here, and somebody else has to set up the equipment because we can't see which wire goes in which hole.
By that point, I hope I'll have just like a Stephen Hawking setup, and then I'll just have the board built into my wheelchair.
That's great.
Awesome. So, yeah, as we mentioned, we're here with Grist House. So, let's talk about the brewery, guys. Let's talk about the beers and kind of, how this all came to be. So, what was it that made you want to go out and start a brewery and open this place up?
Start there.
I mean, from the grand sense of things, I guess, well, A, wanted to do something I really enjoyed. B, didn't want to be a software engineer anymore. It's not that I disliked it. I guess you could say didn't want to work for the man anymore, or whatever it would be. But it was just an exciting opportunity. We saw Pittsburgh as a market that needed craft breweries. So there was only, I think when we started, 6, 7, 8, 9, somewhere right in there.
Yeah. Definitely nowhere near the number that we have today.
And apparently a lot of other people thought that too. So now we have about 30, but this brewery all came about. It was established with a lot of hard work, a lot of really good friends' hard work, and just the tenacity to get it open. And we loved homebrewing and just kind of steamrolled it into this. I mean, we went from 5 gallons to 10 gallons to 465.
That is a hell of a jump.
Yeah, it really is.
So
Intimidating.
right. Yes, it was. And so we just never looked back since then. And we love everything we do. Every day we come to work and we get to do what we love. Yeah, there's always shitty days brewing when the mash gets stuck or this or that. But every day you come to work and you're making beer for people, the listeners, and hopefully people enjoy it.
So you mentioned that you went from 10-gallon batches up to 400+ gallon batches. What was the biggest thing that you saw in that jump in capacity? Were there things that you didn't expect to see going from a homebrew to obviously a very large capacity facility?
We expected a lot, but I would say the biggest thing was just the volumes, the amount of liquid you're moving, and really what like head pressure does to grain bed and all that stuff. I mean, it's just a lot different in that regard. Your lauter takes 80 minutes instead of a lot less time sometimes on a homebrew batch when you're only getting 5.
The recipe scaled actually pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Campsite was like one of the very first beer we did too, and we just multiplied up for how many gallons, and it came out pretty dang close to what we wanted to.
Yeah.
But
give a little shout out to our friend John Trogner. He's the one, we asked him, how do we scale these recipes up? He's like, 1 to 1. Do it like that. We're like, all right. So that's what we did, and it actually works out. Like Sean said, I mean, it's pretty easy to scale up and then adjust from there.
Very cool.
That makes me feel really good because I'll be honest, because we're all home brewers as well. And that's one of the things that we've always wondered about. If we scaled it up to a large capacity, how would it change? How would we have to change our recipe? Would it be any different? But it sounds like it's just double, triple, quadruple.
Yeah.
couple tweaks after a few times, but really
Right.
it was not far off, that's for sure.
Yep. It does change. It's more of like a bitterness thing, but it's not detrimental to the beer. You're still going to make a good beer if you scaled it up 1 to 1.
Gotcha.
It might not be exactly what you thought it was going to be because in 10 gallons you're used to X, and then you go to 500, it's going to be maybe a little different, but it's still going to be a good beer and a drinkable beer. You just might have to make little tweaks here.
Gotcha. Okay. So it'll get you pretty much right in the ballpark. Then
Right.
You just gotta.
Yeah, to hit a home run, you definitely got to tweak.
Yeah.
Unless you're really lucky, and it's always better to be lucky than good.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
So just to jump back a little bit into what brought you here personally as brewers. Kyle, you mentioned that you no longer wanted to be a software engineer.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
program that way.
Yeah.
Sean, you mentioned before the show while we were just talking that you were an engineer as well.
Yeah, for about a year and a half in college, then I switched to biology. That's
Okay.
when I finished with a degree in biology. So I moved to Pittsburgh probably close to 8 years ago. And when Brian and Kyle, Brian, the other owner here, Brian was in DC, Kyle was in Cleveland, and they ended up moving here. And then when they did, they started homebrewing, so I started homebrewing with them. And they came up with the idea. And I was still working my other job. I worked in a laboratory, helping them whenever they bought the building. I was helping out, and then Kyle quit his
Pretty
job.
much every day.
Every night and weekend I had a chance to, I was over here. And then Kyle started, once this got up and running, he quit his job and realized it was too much work for him. So I ended up quitting my job and coming over here too. So never looked back since.
Very cool.
Yes, sir.
That's there's really something to be said about that, because I don't know if I was ever on the verge of quitting, but I read How to Open a Bar for Dummies before. Let's say that. And
Books have merit.
I tinkered with the idea of potentially going out and doing something like this for the same reasons. To really get out on your own, be independent, and do what you love.
It's the
Right.
American dream.
It really is the American dream.
Still a bit
That's
scary
incredibly
because you're
admirable.
leaving something that was stable and you have no idea.
Yeah, it's very scary.
It wasn't the boom yet, so we had no idea how successful it was going to be at all. But we
Right.
just
Yeah.
wanted to do something like that I just wanted to work for myself, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kind of getting close to a decade doing a job, and I didn't know where it was going to go, and this just seems a
Seemed
better
like the right
end
next
for me.
step.
Well, you guys definitely did right place, right time.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
worked out not too bad.
I think I speak for Sean with this too. It's kind of cool to see every ounce of work you put in, every thought you have, everything that you do every day really makes a difference, you know. And I think that's the biggest thing that we all wanted, was like, we wanted our input. We wanted to make a difference in something. And in a big corporation, when you're kind of stuck as a cog in the wheel, it doesn't matter what you think every day, you know, sometimes you don't make a difference. And I think that's what really is the gravitating part of this for me, and I know I speak for Sean too, is every day we can change the course, we can steer the ship however we want. And I think that holds really just near and dear to my heart.
Very cool. So how did you guys then, you know, given that when you came into Pittsburgh, you said there were maybe 6 or 7 craft breweries. So in terms of the real estate, it was pretty open in terms of what neighborhood you could go into. How did you land on Millvale as the spot? Because at the time, at least from, you know, my experience in Millvale, it had about Mr. Smalls, and that was about it. So
Right.
how'd you say, yeah, we want to come in here and make a difference in this neighborhood?
Well, I wouldn't so much say that we chose Millvale more than Millvale kind of chose us. And I'll say this in just the proximity to downtown was great. You know, we did a little research on Millvale. We knew Mr. Smalls was here. It was right across from Lawrenceville, obviously a booming suburb of Pittsburgh, and not really a suburb. It's only a stone's throw away from the city, but all you listeners, I'm sure, know that. And this building, you know, this building was on the market for a while. We never looked at it, and all of a sudden it kind of came down into our price range, so that had a lot to do with it too, price. You know, we were just a couple of sub 20-year-olds trying to afford any building we could, and this one came into our price range. We came and looked at it. We were like, wow, I think this can work. And it was kind of cool. We knew we had outdoor space, which we love. We all grew up in Erie, a little South Erie in Waterford.
Okay.
And we grew up having bonfires and just being outdoors, basically. And this kind of lended to that, you know, being in the city, but also have a little outdoor space. We have fires every day. We're open during daylight savings times. And like I said, the building just kind of picked us as it came down to our price range, and the dream went on from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say you guys definitely have one of the most prime locations, and that's because of what you just said about it, having that open outdoor space.
Right.
Like,
so key.
there's a lot of places that are really crammed up, but you guys definitely have the real estate to have an inside area, and you have the outside area for like picnics and food trucks and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
It's just a fantastic place to come to.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
We think so too.
All in agreement.
Yeah, all right. That makes 5 of us here on the show.
So you guys said you started home brewing. Do you guys still home brew as like a testing process, or do you just go straight big batch?
Nice.
I pretty much live here, so I kind of homebrew here. So, if I had time more at home, I probably would. And we just got a pilot batch, so when I'm not even brewing over there, now we're gonna start brewing on another pilot system. So almost brew. It's gonna be close to about 4 or 5 times a week here. I wish I had more time to do it other places as well, but this is based my home. I live across the street, so I sleep there and just wake up and spend my days here. So.
At least that's critically convenient.
You know what? That's not that's not too bad.
Yeah, I was gonna say save on gas.
That's a pretty good commute.
Or just walking door.
I think Sean brags. I think he fills up his tank like once every 6 months.
I don't remember last time I bought gas.
No, that's nice, because let me tell you, man, it's going up again.
Right.
We're almost back at $3 a gallon, which is bullshit. But
Gosh, just following the trend of Bitcoin, up. Yeah, and now Sean just mentioned we just bought a new pilot system, so we'll be doing a lot of crazy little things on that thing, which is kind of refreshing and takes us back to brewing a little bit on a smaller scale. When we're brewing the 15 barrels, we're just trying to keep up with production, and we're trying to make beers that people are going to enjoy, and we wouldn't do like a anise lager 15 barrels of that without testing it first. We'd do a crazy IPA, sure, but not just some off the wall, nuts recipe.
Right.
And this will give us the ability to do that, which I think is going to be really cool. And we'll see a lot of upcoming, really interesting recipes here at Grist House.
Very
Still
cool.
so much to learn that we could brew all our lives and never learn all we can learn. So
Till we're 80.
never gonna stop.
And then you'll be back here.
Right. With us.
for another podcast.
I'll claim I'm a professional then.
So will we.
Was it like 10,000 hours for your craft before you can become a master?
Yeah,
It's like,
something like that.
Right. I might be pushing that right now.
Feels like it at least.
I was gonna say we don't have anywhere near 10,000 hours of podcasting under our belt, so you guys are gonna get there worlds ahead of us. It will be amateur hour again when we're 80.
We'd have to podcast like Joe Rogan every day.
Yeah, make it a full-time job.
Yep.
So on the pilot system, is there anything you guys are really wanting to try, just a completely off the wall, a Lucky Charms stout or something ridiculous like that you guys have been just wanting to get in there, you just haven't had a chance to make it yet?
As far as like dreams of making that ridiculous recipe, I'm more of a spontaneity kind of person. So when something good comes to me, like my wife today mentioned a Pittsell beer, and I was like, that's a pretty good idea.
All right,
so
especially for Pittsburgh.
Right.
I was gonna say,
So
not far from a Polish community.
right.
That
So,
could be a hit.
Yep. So that might be something we try, and any ideas we have a big list. So it's not just one that sticks out. There's like 50, and we're just gonna try to crank through that list over the next years.
So here's what I'm thinking you need to do. I've seen you guys have a dartboard down there. You need to cover every number with a recipe.
That's how you pick it.
That's a
pick it
good
that
idea.
way.
I like that.
Combine a bunch of styles together.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the way to run through them. I like it.
Thing is, there isn't really any styles anymore, so it's just
Everything is mishmashed
Whatever,
together.
yeah.
It's,
Right.
Is it good? Is it not good? That's
Yeah.
pretty much
Right.
the line.
Yep. That is exactly it nowadays.
Now, you guys have been rated really the best brewery in Pittsburgh on multiple occasions, at least that I've seen, through various polls. And I mean, that's a huge honor, especially with how many breweries are now in Pittsburgh. Does that ever add any type of pressure to what you're doing? Are you always looking to continue to go above and beyond? And how does that add to creating some of this amazing beer that you put out?
Yeah, I think it's more motivation and pressure because you want to live up to what people think of you, so you can't afford to kind of slip up or kind of not meet their expectations. So it's motivation to kind of keep always getting better and make sure you're living up to what they just said about you. I mean, we definitely appreciate it every year, and it's kind of overwhelming. You wouldn't expect it, but now it just motivates us to keep getting better all the time. So
Yeah, we want to stay there. I mean, so the only way you do that is keep making really good beers and keep forging new recipes and trying to come up with things that taste delicious, things that are unique.
just know it's going to keep getting harder because there's a lot of good beers coming out in Pittsburgh now too. So if you want to hold on to it, it's a good competition, and if it's good for the craft beer scene, if everybody wants to keep getting better,
Oh
it
yeah,
rubs off on everybody else.
Well, there's a lot of foods in the Giant Eagle Market District, which could be a lot of ingredients. So, if you run out of ideas, you start walking up and down the aisles
Right.
and saying, "Oh, well, maybe we can brew with this."
spontaneity.
Italian hoagie.
We're gonna blend up this burrito and put it in a Randall.
Yes,
As I'm just trying to think back of some of the weird things I've seen people brew with here in Pittsburgh, and I remember, I think it was Rock Bottom who did the.
They did the
Cool
Doritos.
Ranch Doritos. It was called
Yep.
Cool Ranch Burritos or something.
Yeah.
It was like a
Like
Cool Ranch
collaboration.
Dorito.
Beers from back in the day.
That was a collaboration for Pittsburgh Craft Beer Week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
it
a
was.
collab.
Yeah.
Yep. And then recently I had a beer from Hitchhiker, and it was called the Marshmallow Count Chocula, and it was a marshmallow stout brewed with Count Chocula cereal,
Nice.
which was really cool. It was a really tasty beverage. And I don't know, it's just people are innovating so quickly now. It's like everybody's trying to outdo the next person in terms
Oh, yeah.
of what crazy ingredient can we use next.
Yeah, what sounds interesting at least too.
Yeah. A lot of it's about buzzwords. Budwords. Bud. Buzz. No. Buzzwords.
Speaking of that was a reference to the frogs. Have you ever guys considered brewing with frogs? you ever had a desire to come out with a frog beer?
Maybe.
I think it might be a little hoppy.
Yeah. Little hoppy.
I actually waited a second to say that because I thought Adam would snipe that pun from me, but he didn't say anything, so I had to come in and say that I thought it would be a little hoppy.
I mean, if you're talking frogs, it's kind of a Frenchy ingredient. You could also use snail and have an escargoza.
I like it.
I could pay you guys to make up names for us.
Yep, this is great.
That gets really hard sometimes.
I was gonna say we're just giving all kinds of ideas here.
I know. This is
Giving them away for free.
This is going to be a lot more fruitful up for us than you guys.
Get them on that list. Put them on the dartboard.
Right.
I want a frog beer by July. All right, so let's get back to this beer. As a reminder, we are drinking the Camp Slap Red.
No cats in this one.
No cats in the camp. The Camp Slap Red. And yeah, let's go around and see what our final thoughts are. Let's start with our guest. Yeah, what do you think of this beer, the Camp Slap Red? one of your first beers that you brewed in a staple here at the brewery.
You know, I find myself going back to it all the time in the brewery. I'm a very I don't want to say seasonal, but I guess you could just say mixed drinker. One day I'll drink an IPA, the next day I'll drink a red, the next day I'll drink a brown. So I'm never stuck on one thing for very long, and this is always a great beer to go back to, kind of to reset the palate and just take you back to, I guess, our roots. And I think it's delicious, but I obviously am biased.
Holds a dear place in your heart.
Yeah,
kind of the same. But I really appreciate balance like this beer has between malt and hops. So it's always kind of a good fallback for me because we do a lot of transfer seasonal stuff too. But like you said, there's something that has to be said about a perfectly balanced beer and something that looks great. I just find myself looking at it in the light and seeing that red glow, and it just looks awesome to me. So I love it. One of my favorite beers we make. That's why we always have it on.
Excellent.
All right, Debbie Downer, what do you got?
You finished it.
Yeah,
That's right, it's
gone.
I'm actually the only one that still has a
You
sip
are the
left.
only
I'm
one,
saving
so-
it. I'm saving it for my review at the
For
end.
final thoughts.
I couldn't do it. I had to drink it first.
Wow.
Because I enjoyed it. It is a well-balanced beer. I enjoyed it, and I believe that the Camp Slap Red is a fantastic name for this beer because this is definitely the type of beer that you would be having with, you know, a fall day, a crisp day, and then, you know, you get into the campfire side of things, sit down, relax. This is the kind of beer that I think would be perfect for that situation.
Nice.
So, yeah, you're drinking it. I'm not because my glass is empty.
Right. Well, I said one sip, one thought left, and that's it.
He's trying to savor it as much as he can.
I couldn't do it. I'm sorry.
I'll go since you're calling me out on it, Adam. Let me take a pause, finish this beer. All right, now I'll preface it by saying that the red ale is not my favorite style of beer, but I really enjoy this one. And you know me, I'm a hophead, so I love the hops. I love the hoppy flavor of this beer, and I just love how it's very balanced. You know, it's malty, it's hoppy, and it's delicious, and it leaves a nice, crisp, you know, refreshing taste. Aftertaste in your mouth after you take that final sip. So, you know, I'm not even going to take a sip of water for the rest of this segment because I just want it to linger.
Just bask in it.
Yes.
Let it just mask in my mouth.
So what I find interesting is you and I came from different sides of the beer, because I do enjoy red ales, and you obviously like the hoppy side of things, but we both came to the same conclusion with this,
That is true.
which is I find quite interesting.
Well, like two 50-pound toddlers, we met in the middle.
Comes full circle.
And as a person who enjoys both red ales and hoppy ales, it just makes sense. So, yeah, I just enjoy the balance of it.
All right, so it sounds like the Camp Slap Red is a winner. Great thing for all our listeners out there. It's always on tap down here at Grist House, so you can come down, you can enjoy one, and see for yourself just how delicious it is. So that's it for the first segment. We'll come back here in a few minutes with Sean and Kyle, and we'll talk more Grist House, and we'll drink some more Grist House beer. So stay tuned, everybody.
Can't wait.
Hey everyone, check this out. There's a Seattle-based company called Tavour that enables the discovery of new and exciting beers and breweries. Tavour gets the best independent beer from literally all around the world, such as Denmark, New Zealand, Belgium, and of course, everywhere in the US. The app is incredibly simple to use, and you get some ridiculously good beers delivered right to your door. Welcome back, Hop Nation. We are still here at Grist House, back for segment 2, and back for more fun with Kyle and Sean, the owners here at Grist House Brewery. So, you know, without further ado, we are all looking at another delicious beer here. So I'm going to turn it over to Sean to tell us what we are going to be drinking next.
So this is a new version of an old favorite of ours. It's called Wheat Juice. It's a little bit amped up, but Wheat Juice kind of had its roots as a collaboration beer we did a while back with Hitchhiker and Hop Farm. I think it was 2 years ago, right? That we did that.
Yeah.
At least 2 years ago. And we weren't really up on trends, so we just thought it'd be kind of cool to see what a hoppy wheat beer would be like. And that's why it's kind of got its name. Eventually, was for wheat steak back then.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's just do a wheat beer that's hoppy. And that's kind of what we did. And then we really liked it. Kind of changed it up and just started making one called Wheat Juice. And like, well, this is super tasty during a summer. And then kind of left it for a while. And then realized hazy beers were starting to be kind of a trend. We're like, that's kind of like what we made. And like, let's revisit it. But then other beers like our Hazy Alec Juice Grenade kind of stems for this. We kind of tweaked some different things, Floodline, a few other double IPAs. And finally, we were trying to think of another one just recently to do, and we thought, let's bring back Wheat Juice since it was one of our favorites back then, and brought it back and amped it up, double dry hop, a little bit higher alcohol, a little bit bigger everything, just to give it more flavor, a little more juice character. And we just released this last Wednesday, still going to be on for a couple more weeks, so come down and try it and see what you think.
Awesome.
All right. Well, I'm very excited for this beer because as we were chatting about, on our break between segments, I was telling Kyle that this is my all-time favorite Grist House beer right here. And I was incredibly saddened this summer when I came down to the brewery and I didn't see it. Then I came down again, it wasn't on tap. Then I came down one last time and it wasn't on tap.
And that was the last time I came down.
And I thought the beer had gone away forever, that they weren't going to do it anymore. So the fact that we're sitting here drinking it is just very exciting.
Today is the day.
Today is the day.
We waited
couldn't
for
be
you.
more thrilled. Yeah, no. Now, first look, this is a very hazy beer. So, would you guys consider this a wheat, an IPA, or a mixture of both styles?
Oh, it's got a lot of different things. I mean, it's got wheat in it. It's got
Malted oats in this one.
yeah,
as
it's
well.
got malted oats. It's got barley. So it's like a hybrid of all three. I wouldn't consider it just a pure wheat. I wouldn't consider it just an IPA. It's definitely a hybrid style.
It has a wonderful color to it.
Yeah.
It's hazy and kind of has a light.
I mean, it looks like
pale
orange juice.
yellow. It looks
Yeah.
just like orange
It
juice.
sure does.
I'll even go one step further. I'd go mimosas.
Mimosas.
It
Yep.
does look like a mimosa.
yeah.
It
It's
mixed
like
with
a
orange juice, and it's a delicious breakfast drink too. So
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
I believe it.
So great color on this one.
pretty big pineapple and other citrus aroma.
I was gonna say it has a
Yeah.
very citrusy nose. You get that right
Yeah.
off the bat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very citrusy, but it's not like hoppy bitter. Like it's just citrusy.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like a sweeter aroma too.
Right.
Beer's not sweet, but it's got like a sweet, like
Juicy sweetness.
juicy candy pineapple kind of thing going on. It's interesting.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting that. I'm excited to drink it.
And
so.
you can smell it when it's about 3 inches from your nose too.
that too.
Yeah, I was gonna
Fingers
say
alive.
it is just pouring out of the snifter here. It's
Yep.
fantastic.
So what do you say we dig in?
Yeah.
We have to.
Down hatch, gentlemen.
Ah man, I said I was gonna chug this one on the last.
Don't worry,
drink it really
we're
quick,
still gonna
but-
beat you.
now, now you don't want to waste
If
it.
you finish it, we got more.
Yeah,
so.
I know. I need to really
No,
savor this
you're gonna have to
flavor.
wait till next year, Sam.
You get one this year.
Yeah, you get one taster. That's it.
Man, that's really good.
Oh man, I'm grinning from ear to ear.
Yeah, I mean, people at home can't see that, but I mean, it's quite obvious that you're very happy that you have your wheat juice again.
Yeah, I gotta get a selfie with this beer and put it on our Instagram page
Nice.
so that people could see just how excited I am to be drinking this. But I mean, yeah, it's absolutely delicious. It's citrusy and it's balanced and it's flavorful and it's not bitter. It's just it goes down like a mimosa or like some orange juice. And this is a beer that you could drink many of.
Would you consider this a dangerous beer because you can drink so many so easily?
7.3%. So
Yeah, it's pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would consider this a dangerous beer.
If you try to drink 8 of these in an hour, it probably wouldn't be a good time.
it was an inside joke.
Yeah.
Because this is not only a beer that you could drink a lot of, but you're going to be drinking it very quickly because it's so flavorful, it's so tasty, and when you're done with the first sip, you can't wait for the next one. You're so excited to have another sip.
Agreed.
And when your glass is empty, then you just go back to the bar and you get another one.
Right.
There's more beer there for you.
What the first sip does is prime you for the next 3 glasses.
Yeah, there you go. Gents, what are your thoughts? Anything additional? I feel like I've kind of stolen everybody's thunder there on that first impression.
I mean, yeah, you kind of did.
Yeah.
But I completely agree. It's again a really smooth drinking beer. It's not bitter like the Camp Slap. The Camp Slap has a little bit of that bitterness. This one has exactly what Kyle was saying. It has that juiciness. It has that citrus flavors. and it just is a nice, easy drinker, and it is a dangerous beer.
So,
Mr. I don't like IPAs. What do you think?
Give him 2 IPAs.
Yeah. We'll give you 2 IPAs to start out now that you don't like them. And the third one's going to be an IPA too.
no, open mind.
Open mind.
Remember, the owners are sitting right in front of you, and you're in a big warehouse in Millvale, where no
And there
one
is a
can
meat
hear
hook
you.
right behind you.
This is the best beer I've ever had, I swear, guys.
All right, that's a wrap.
No, this
All right, we gotta go.
Cut it.
This actually is a really good beer. I've never actually had this one before, and I do enjoy it a lot. It definitely has that juiciness side of it, and I'm thinking, because one of the things I like to do with the beers is, where would I drink this beer? And I'm
Valid
thinking
question.
This one would actually be really good poolside. I'm thinking this would be a good poolside beer.
Yep.
So. If y'all don't mind, I'm gonna go get my bikini on.
We do mind.
Can't wait to see this.
If someone take his weeches from him. Someone take his weeches from him.
It's November. You want to take that risk? Go ahead.
Just, you carry that around with you all the time?
You don't?
A lot of hot tubs in Pittsburgh.
You always have to be prepared.
Right. Yeah,
It's like my undershirt, basically.
All right, well, let's get it back into the Grist House talk, something that I know we're all excited to talk about. So, as we mentioned, you know, it's getting colder outside. The weather's starting to turn shitty here in Pittsburgh. But, you know, with shitty weather comes great holiday and winter beers, right? I mean,
Best time
that's
of
something
year.
that we all look forward to. Some dark porters and stouts and Christmas ales.
True.
So, anything that you guys have coming up on the docket that you might be releasing around the winter or for the holidays that you want to share with the audience?
Nice. Yeah, we got our Blackened USSR. It is coming out. It's already out. You guys will be able to come down to the tap room and get this. Our Blackened USSR just came out, and it's one of our big Russian Imperial stouts. It's just nice. It's balanced. It's just big. It coats the mouth. It's tasty, and it really takes you home for the holidays.
That was actually the first Grist House beer I ever had.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so that was what introduced me to you guys.
Nice.
And,
That's
yeah,
a good one to introduce.
Big
because
fan.
Yeah, it's
Big
solid.
fan.
Good.
Should leave an impression.
Yeah, that's an impression, a beer that leaves an impression, like Sean just said. So we got that's out right now.
What's the ABV on that one? That's got to be a big big
About
boozy beer.
9.8%.
Yeah.
Oh, 9.8, yeah.
It's
That'll
pretty big.
That'll keep you warm during the winter months.
Yeah, you drink 3 of those, you'll be feeling
We
it.
limit it to, I think it's a 10 or 12 ounce pours. Keep it short, so.
Right. Don't want people drinking 5 Blackened USSRs here. That just poses everybody for a bad time.
Yep, that's a good limitation.
Right. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, it's also a nitro beer too, so it kind of unique twist on a Russian Imperial Stout, so it kind of really mellows everything out, makes it nice and smooth compared to the normal carbonated twist beers. So, also we got brewing our double vice coffee porter, which should be coming out in a couple weeks. That's one of my personal favorites because
Me too.
in the name, the way it says it, well, you have started drinking coffee, so now he's on board, but we pretty much have 2 vices at Grist House, and one being beer and one is coffee, so we put them together and it's a match made in heaven. We did just release our black IPA, which is another one of our fall favorites too.
And
What other-
we do have a beer coming out. It should be out this week sometime, I would say. And it's Funky Street. So if you guys ever tried Funky Street last year, you know it's a little funky and it's pretty damn good. But what it is, it's a red sour, so like a little bit of a darker sour. It's a kettle sour beer, and it's got a lot of malt character to it. But we amp it up with red tart cherries, a gratuitous amount of all of these, I might say. Red tart cherries, raspberries, and cranberries. So
Nice.
it's perfect. Go with your turkey beer. It's tart, it's nice, it's got a great nose, it's fruity, and it's well-rounded. So that's one of my personal favorites for the holidays as well.
So you're saying bring your Thanksgiving leftovers down to Grist House for some funky street?
Hell yeah.
Plenty of picnic tables here.
We'll have some mountain pot irons. You guys can make your own goberitos when you come down.
Nice.
Oh, the Gobblerito. That is one of my all-time favorite Thanksgiving treats from Mad Nuts.
They are
God
delicious.
damn, those are good.
Yes, they are.
Oh,
I agree.
man. But yeah, I actually never had Funky Street. I must have missed it last year because I didn't even hear about it, which is a shame because that sounds amazing. So I'm really glad to hear that it's coming back because I know I'm a huge sour beer fan and that's right up my alley, especially a dark sour like that.
You too busy looking for the wheat juice?
Yeah, I'm still looking
Not
for
coming
it.
back to the wheat juices there, guys.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Well, we just gained Sam's business again.
All right.
But yeah, other than that, we don't plan a lot ahead all the time, so there's probably more to come, but that's what we got going on so far.
Yeah, various pilot recipes are coming out. We're going to do an espresso bean milk stout. That'll be coming out.
Ooh.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds
it
amazing.
should be pretty tasty.
You have my attention.
You guys got some great stuff coming out. This is awesome.
Yeah, and with that little pilot system, I mean, it'll only be out for a weekend and then it'll be gone. So that'll be kind of cool. It'll people will be able to come try it, and then if it makes it to the big system, it will. If not, it won't be back for a while.
So you hear that, everybody? You have a reason to come every weekend to Grist House now.
Pretty much. Yeah, exactly. Try something new pretty much every weekend.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking forward to coming down because I love visiting breweries in the winter. I mean, the summer, with my wife, we like to do stuff, especially outdoors. It's harder to get to breweries, but in the winter here in Pittsburgh, let's face it, there's nothing to do, right? So why not check out the breweries?
Yep.
See what beer is brewing and drink.
It doesn't even
That's a
snow.
Pittsburgh staple.
It's just cold. It doesn't even snow.
Right, exactly. It's cold. From time to time, it's icy.
Yeah.
Dark when you
Very
go to
dreary.
work, dark when you leave work.
Yeah.
Exactly. Very depressing until you get into the brewery and you get that first tall glass of anything,
Whatever
any
you're
beer,
going
any
for.
beer, whatever you're in the mood for.
Yeah.
And it just makes it all better. It's
See, for me,
fantastic.
it's not even the first glass of beer. It's walking in and that smell.
Oh, okay.
That's when you know this is gonna be a good time.
Just a bit of malty nose.
yeah, just
Especially when they're brewing.
it
Yeah.
smells right.
I can't get drunk off the smell, so it's the taste for me. It's the actual drinking that I enjoy.
I like it.
Stop teasing me.
Stop teasing me, smell.
We talked about what you guys have new that's coming up. Mm-hmm. I've seen a trend lately of beer blending. Mm-hmm. With Flying Dog, they've released a pack of beers that were beers blended together. And New Belgium's doing the same thing, and they're giving you recipes to blend their beers together. Mm-hmm. So I just wondered, do you guys have any interest in that? And specifically, have you thought about blending the Grizzly Brown Bear and the Camp Slap Red to make the Grizzly Bear in the Camp?
When I read that, I thought that was hysterical.
The name's great,
Yeah.
but close to that, we've done the black IPA and the Camp Slap Red together.
Oh, yeah?
And actually that one, just out of the test, like 50-50 in the glass. Other beers, we blend barrel-aged beers and sour beers. Definitely have thought about doing it for batches that we've brewed just to see how they would mix together.
Yeah, we've actually talked about it quite extensively. We've even talked about the beer cocktails kind of thing too, where you go get some rum, make some beer cocktails, and that's
Like
what
the
you
beer
serve.
mostly was like this beer.
Right. Yeah. So we've talked about all this. It's just the implementation and the lack of taps.
Right.
So do you do it with a couple kegs, then you got to take half from one keg, half from another keg, then you got two half-empty kegs. So from a logistical standpoint, it's kind of tough right now just because we're limited on space and quantity of tanks that we have.
Yeah.
But in the future, I can guarantee you will see stuff like that from us.
That's cool.
Yeah, the cool thing is we can make them in kegs and serve them on draft.
Yeah.
And any brewery can serve Pennsylvania spirits now.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
We technically could serve any Maggie's Farm or Wiggle that we wanted to, even
nice.
in the form of shots. Doesn't matter nowadays. But we don't yet, just because, like I said, space. I mean, just
doesn't fit here
right
very well
behind
right
the
now.
bar
but
doesn't fit here very well. But in the future, this is on our radar. Let's put it that way.
Awesome.
Awesome.
I'm going to do when that happens, I'm gonna do a Black in the USSR Boilermaker with Maggie's Farm rum.
Good night.
You guys, you'll limit me on the Black in the USSRs. I'll show you.
That's great.
You know, it'd be good Black in the USSR and some of the Kraken dark rum.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I bet that would actually be really
That
good.
would be good.
Yeah.
Tasty.
It'd actually be good with this too, because I've found orange juice and Kraken mix really well together. So I think Kraken and the wheat juice would work really well as well.
I'd try it.
Sounds to me like we have experiment time.
I was gonna say all kinds of ideas.
Sounds to me like someone ran out of vodka in his house.
I
have experiment time on my own.
So just add it to the dartboard.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So here's something I've always been wondering about Grist House, and I have to ask because, you know, Grist House is a very dog-friendly brewery.
True.
Every time my wife and I have come down here, there's dogs everywhere. And although we do not have a dog, I love getting to meet all of the dogs, almost as much as I like drinking the beer. Because I'm a dog
Pet
lover.
all the dogs.
Right.
And I do, almost every time. I love the dogs. I don't give them any beer because, as we know, hops can cause malignant hypothermia in dogs. And you don't
Only
want to
raw
do that.
hops, though. Only raw hops.
That's true.
Hops and beer does not.
That's a good point, but I don't take any chances.
Well, I hear you.
smart.
You gotta play it safe. It's
don't
not
want-
your dog.
That's true.
You don't carry pet insurance.
So my question is, how many dogs have you had here at the brewery at one time?
I mean, it's a pretty substantial amount on summer days when everybody's outside. I've counted personally, just outside of the picnic tables, 20, 30. And we've had these Pups and Pints days where we partner with a couple people and we do like basically a dog day here at Grist House. And man, there's probably...
It's almost 1-to-1.
Yeah,
people
it's
to
like
dog
1 to
ratio.
1. Like if dogs could buy beer, we would be rich.
Well, I have not been to a Pups and Pint night, but I'm gonna have to come and skew those numbers a little bit and
Yeah.
just come by myself.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
they're
fly
cool.
solo.
They're cool. But yeah,
That sounds awesome.
That's one thing that we always loved because we're huge dog people, and who doesn't want to go home, grab their dog, their best friend, and bring them down to at least enjoy the night with them rather than sitting at home while they're out getting a beer. So for us, it works, and I think for a lot of people in Pittsburgh, it works as well.
I was gonna ask, is that something that was part of the brewery from the beginning to be able to have dogs here? Or is
Yeah.
that something that kind of happened one day and you're like, screw it, let it ride, let's see
Nope,
what happens?
that was always from the beginning. We always wanted to be dog friendly, so that was part of our mission plan.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, very enjoyable experience when you get to not only enjoy some great beers, but pet other people's dogs as well.
Yeah, you see dogs from all walks of life too. It's nice when a cute puppy comes in, and it's not so nice when the slobbery, biggest dog you've ever seen in life comes in and just goons at
Those
you.
are the best behaved dogs, though.
Yeah, they are. A lot of
The bigger
times
the
they
dog,
are.
the more relaxed
Like
they
Kathy
are.
Bates on The Office with those two Great Danes walking.
That's exactly it.
A couple Irish
But no,
wolfhounds that are about 5 feet tall.
Yeah, we love them all, though. They're all welcome, and it's really cool to see people just interact with them, and owners' faces light up when someone comes up to them and says, "Can I pet your dog?" They're like, "Absolutely." They love it, so it's really cool.
Well, if I ever get a dog, that'll just give me more motivation to spend more time down here.
Yeah, maybe you'll stop looking for wheat juice and just enjoy your time down here with the dog.
Well, see,
There we go.
The problem is what he'll do is he'll train the dog to start looking for the wheat juice.
I smell it.
Say wheat juice, boy. Say wheat juice.
I'm gonna really confuse people. I'm gonna also name the dog Wheat Juice. Find the wheat juice, wheat juice.
Find the wheat juice.
A juice bomb sniffing dog.
only sniffs out the best
I like that.
IPAs.
So, very recently, you guys got some new neighbors. There is now a new axe throwing facility about a block and a half away from you guys. Have you guys been over there yet?
We just had our
Last night.
Last night, we
Really?
just had our employee outing, an employee appreciation night there, and how many of us were there? There was 8, 16, 24 of us, I think, and we all threw axes for about 3 hours. It was pretty awesome.
Wow.
But yeah, we had a great time.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it is really cool. If you haven't been out there yet, it's a really unique experience. Very cool time. The people who run it are awesome, and it's something you'll be talking about for a little while if you go out there and do it.
BYOB and bring your own food too. So
Right, so you can get
we brought a keg down there.
Yep.
I was gonna
Lots of
ask.
pizzas.
Oh, it's BYOB.
Oh yeah, so you can
That
get
sounds
a
like something-
growler, your favorite
Drink
Grist House
and throw
beer,
axes.
bring it down to the axe throwing facility.
Oh my god, that is so exciting because, no, I kid you not, my birthday was a couple weeks ago, and one of my presents this year for my wife was actually a night at the axe throwing facility.
Nice.
But I didn't know it was BYOB.
Oh yeah,
That's a game changer.
Oh, so I will be here beforehand. I'm gonna get some wheat juice and I'm gonna go throw some motherfucking axes.
Right,
That's gonna be great.
That sounds like a solid plan.
I'm like, my grin has now increased, not just from ear to ear, but it's all the way around my head. It's like the ends of my lips are beating on top
It's like a
of my head.
babushka.
Yeah, exactly. It's holding my hair in place.
Yeah, it's cool. It's walking distance, so we've been getting a lot of people coming. They fill growlers up and just walk back down the road and go throw axes and have beers while they're doing it.
Oh, that's
So-
fantastic.
Or what better way to wind down?
Yes.
Right.
So it sounds to me like you guys need to add another one onto the dartboard for an axe throwing beer.
Now, you guys also had them here, though, right? I think I saw something on Instagram.
We had a-
Lumberjacks.
Like a fall celebration day where
Yeah.
we had we started our fire pit up that day, and then they set up like an outdoor axe throwing spot out there too, and yeah, it was pretty cool, pretty fun. People seemed to really like it.
It was awesome.
You ever worry that that's a bit of a liability?
I guess that's what good insurance is for. Yeah.
Throwing axes. Dogs is one thing, but now we're talking about literally throwing something that can kill
They
you.
set up like a nice cage around it, and they are watching you pretty intently, so they're pretty safe about it.
Yeah.
Just as long as you throw the axes and pet the dogs, and not throw the dogs and pet the axes, everything's fine.
Right. Right.
That is why there's a 3-limit block in the USSR.
Nice.
Wheat juice, no!
No more block in the USSR. Sam, drink the wheat juice.
So speaking of the wheat juice that we have here from Grist House, what do you guys think?
It's
I hate
excellent.
it. No.
Well, all right, that's one vote I wasn't expecting. Sam, I'll
Let us hear it.
I'll just. What do you think? I'm not sure what your opinion of this beer is. So
I don't know if we've picked up
He
on
hides
it
it so well.
through the segment yet.
I'm very curious what your thoughts of this beer is.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't quite figured it out yet. I'm not sure. I mean, on one hand,
You need another
yeah, it's
refill,
good.
like-
I understand.
On the
You
other
have to be
hand, I'm
certain. You have to be certain.
I don't know. Maybe it's not as good as I think it is. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's fantastic. It's exactly like I remembered it. It's wildly refreshing. It's so flavorful. It's hoppy, but not too hoppy, and it's not bitter. I don't know. I can't. It's amazing. It's amazing. It is still my favorite after all these years, and
Nice.
after all these great beers that you guys have put out, I have to say this is still my absolute favorite. And to come here again tonight and be able to try it after a year and a half, it's just as good as I remember it.
Awesome.
So I'll say this actually reminds me of the IPA we did last week, the crowd pleaser. Except for I don't think that one wasn't built off a wheat recipe. So, but it's interesting how they're very similar in that they're both hazy, easy drinking, juicy IPAs. That they're both very flavorful and they're not overly bitter. So I like that we have this one out here because it's very comparable and we can't get that crowd pleaser IPA. That's from some nowhere place in California.
Some whale out there.
Yeah, so it's awesome that we have something very comparable and just as easy drinking and just as dangerous.
I agree. I hope this one is on tap for a while, guys. It's
Yeah.
my little piece of
It sounds to me like you want to have like a dedicated tap to it. Just has Sam written on the handle.
Something-
dedicated
Your
tap.
refrigerator.
How about a dedicated IV? I'm just gonna plug it right into my veins.
Well, then how do you taste it?
Ooh, he's got
Well, I'm gonna have a glass in the other hand. I'm gonna be drinking it. It's
gonna be double dipping.
Yeah, it's the ultimate in double fisting. Well,
all
single
you,
fisting, one arming.
That's a really weird visual.
Yeah, very weird. Let's just move.
I'll save
What do
those
you
jokes
think?
for later. But
So for me, I am a fan of this beer. I still believe that this is a good beer to be having poolside. I am going to detract just a little bit on the residual, the aftertaste. There is a little bit of that hoppiness. If you're a hophead, obviously that's going to be something you enjoy. If you're not a hoppy guy like myself, it's something you notice. Not the hugest fan of that, but that's simply personal opinion. If you're gonna stay in the lane with this beer, it is a good beer. A hoppy wheat beer, definitely a good one. If that's what you're looking for, grab this one. That's what I would say on that one. It just simply doesn't necessarily go into my particular tastes.
That's why you have 14 beers on tap.
That's right. Exactly.
Find something for everybody.
So this is a great beer. Now, for you guys, I'm sure that you like this. I just know it, right? But what I want to ask is, how has this particular version of the wheat juice compared to or ranked against, some of the wheat juices that you have made in the past? Some of those batches. Is this one different, better, not as good? How does this compare to some of that beer that you brewed in the past?
Oh, it's definitely just as good. It's a slight bit different. It's got a couple different hops in it, and the grain bill's a hair different. So we kind of stuck to the same overall process, water chemistry, all that, but then changed the recipe up just a hair. So it finishes same way, but all in all, I think it's improved version over the original. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think I like it better. It's hard since I haven't tried it for a year and a half, but from what I remember, I really like that one, but I think this one's better. I think we've gotten better at making beers over the time too, so I think all our beers keep getting better, the versions after we get them, just because we get better at doing it. But I think aroma-wise and flavor-wise, everything's a little just more, and I'll definitely enjoy it a little bit more than the one I had before, hopefully.
But hey, perception is reality.
Absolutely. And I think, our listeners should get down to Grist House and try this beer. They will not be disappointed. I guarantee you'll like it. If not, you can come on the show. You can tell me you didn't. But
and he will fight you in the parking lot.
Yes, we will have a verbal argument on this podcast.
That's a weird twist on the Men's Warehouse guarantee.
All right, well, that's 2 beers down. Stay tuned to find out what we're drinking next. We're going to be back here for one more segment with Sean and Kyle from Grist House Brewery. So stay tuned, Hop Nation. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Hop Nation. We are here with Sean and Kyle from Grist House Brewing, and we have one more beer for you. Now, unlike the first 2 that were I don't want to say insanely hoppy, but they were a little bit lighter in color. We had the wheat juice and the Camp Slap Red. The beer that we have in front of us right now is insanely dark. So I'm going to turn it over to Kyle and Sean to let us know what we are drinking next.
What you're drinking here is a beer that is about 3 years in the making. It's called Siberian Highway. It is a barrel-aged, black in the USSR, and we added a gratuitous amount of things to it to make it taste.
Trying to remember the list of stuff.
Yeah, to make it taste really, really delicious. There are cocoa nibs, vanilla beans, there's some cinnamon sticks, and among some other things as well. And this beer just really, the nose is huge. It just got a really big, kind of spicy, thick nose to it. Nice tan head, places the glass pretty decently when you rouse it up. And yeah, like I said, this beer's old. I mean, this beer's like 3 years old, so enjoy.
All right.
Now, has it been aging in the barrels for 3 years?
It's a combination. So
Okay.
It was in a barrel for about a year and a half to 2 years, and then we released it like 8 months ago and kind of put it back in our bright tank and blended it and put things in it. So it's been in a lot of different vessels, but this is its final resting vessel. And it's been in this since 5/26/17.
Oh my.
Damn.
Yeah, so it's been in the bottle since then.
Well, welcome back to the light beer.
Right.
Get ready to go to a crazily dark place. My belly. No light getting in there.
Well, it's good to know that you're not Krang from the Ninja Turtles with an open belly.
Yes. Actually, one of my friends had a Ninja Turtle shirt on today. That's a good reference.
Well, there's no light getting through this guy.
Yeah.
It is thick and black.
Yeah, you have.
And
I mean, Kyle already explained. It has that nice lacing with the tan head, and it doesn't. No light penetrates it. So,
No.
on the nose, you can smell it from about 3 feet away.
For the size of the nose, I just consider renaming it Adrian Brody.
It definitely, like, even though it's really big, you can definitely smell some of those vanilla.
yeah, you can. It smells bold and creamy to me.
It really does.
It's got a lot of flavors on the nose. Some vanilla,
Yeah, it's just not
coffee notes.
Yeah, it's not just
It's
hot.
not old, but they're there.
Yeah, it's not just like hot.
Now, what type of barrels were these aged in?
Bourbon barrels.
In bourbon barrels.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
So what do you say? A little less talk, a little more quaff?
Drink up.
It's a word. I looked it up.
Quaffable.
Hot damn. Hot damn.
Oh,
So this is the part of the show where we enter Steve territory.
I was gonna say, you go first. I cannot steal your thunder on this one because I probably would.
This is amazing. Black in the USSR is one of my favorite beers from Grist House to begin with, and this barrel-aged vanilla amazing. I don't have the words at the moment. They
Complex.
Complex. They should have sent a poet. But this has that velvety smoothness of a lot of other bourbon-aged barrel stouts that you find, and it's so good. And it just kind of washes over your tongue, but it's not overly boozy, like at all. It's smooth.
Yeah, I mean this beer is screaming to me out of my glass. I'm coming for you, wheat juice. I'm coming for you. Because I mean, I was raving about last segment about how my wheat juice is my favorite, and it is. But this is incredible. This is bourbony. What's nice about this is you can taste all of the flavors, but they mix so well together. It's smooth, it's creamy, it's delicious. It just lingers on your palate and on your tongue, and it's a flavor that you want to have sitting around for quite some time. I mean, this is fantastic, guys. Absolutely awesome.
Thank you.
Glad you guys like it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Adam?
That's all right.
He's already done with it.
Yeah. Too hobby for me. Yeah.
Anything more than 10 IBUs,
Yeah.
I ain't touching it.
Right.
The first impression that I had with this beer is this is one of those beers that is, and I don't mean this as an insult, but it is definitely punching above its weight. And what I mean by that is this is one of those beers you can put up against anything in the country. And I mean that sincerely. This is one of those beers where if you start talking about the Goose Island, Bourbon County Stout, the KBSs, the things like that, this is a beer that you can enter into that conversation and it will definitely hold its own.
Yeah, absolutely agree. That this is. I usually put this over like the Deschutes Abyss.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
This is pushing KBS territory for me.
And this is not just blowing smoke or anything like that. Like this is a damn fine beer.
So I gotta ask, you said that this one has been aging for 3 years. I'm assuming you've probably consumed some of this beer at earlier points in time. Have
Yeah.
you noticed a difference in flavor or anything with the beers that you tried previously compared to this one that's aged for a longer period of time?
I mean, so this beer has just been 3 years in the making. Obviously, it's been different from each stage. Straight out of the bourbon barrels, it was, it's different than when we blend it back and then put all the spices in it and make it what it is. But we do
Do all the
I'm not gonna
time.
say anything because you guys are guests, but man, I'm glad you said something. You can't let one of those go.
But we do tasting notes on this beer because we released this for our 3-year anniversary. And so if you were lucky enough to get a bottle, we have been doing tasting notes every 2 months, and we release them in our weekly newsletter. So we actually just did tasting notes for this today. So we update all our the people who have this on what flavors they should be tasting, if it's still in its prime, if it's, you know, how it's all coming together and how it's aging. So if you, from when we bottled it to now, yes, it is changing a little bit. There's a little bit more oxidative character on it. It's picking it up. I mean, it's getting older, but that oxidative character really rounds this beer out and really does, it helps it. Now, obviously, there's a point to where it can be too oxidative, but right now, this beer's swinging in its prime, which is pretty cool.
I'm sorry, I just had to take a moment to drink another.
Yeah. I was gonna say, what I was thinking about was, I'm curious, like, you know, this beer, it's in its prime, it's absolutely wonderful, but it gets me thinking, what if you left it for another 6 months? Could it possibly get even better? What if you left it for another year?
That's why you buy 2 bottles.
That's why you always buy 2.
Yep.
We'll find out. Too,
Yeah,
so.
yeah, only time will tell, I guess, right?
If we left it for another 50 years for the next podcast, and we're drinking this when we're 80, what will this thing taste like? How good will it be?
Yes.
And will it kill us?
Never kill us. Might not taste the best, but it won't kill us, that's for sure.
All right. Well, as we continue to enjoy this beer, we'll get into the part of the show that I've really been looking forward to, and that's where we kind of are going to play a game with you guys, if you don't mind.
Cool.
And,
Sounds fun.
You know, we're going to take it back to our high school days and really get to know you a little bit with a game of Would You Rather.
Oh, nice.
Would you Rather is always a fun game to play, and interestingly enough, throughout 38 episodes of this podcast, we have actually never played it. So this is the inaugural round. So
Proud to be part of it.
you guys are going to be the best and the worst here at the same time. So
Cool.
we'll let the listeners decide what that'll be. But you know, we'll let Steve here kick off the game for us.
All right. So something the listeners may not know right away is that pretty much everybody who's an owner at Grist House also went to Penn State. Kyle, you went to the main campus, correct?
Correct.
And Sean, have you been to main campus? Have you enjoyed time there?
A lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
My sister went down there, and then all the people who work here I've known like all my life, so I'd always visit down there too for studying and stuff like that.
Good.
An honorary Penn Stater.
Yeah.
Good. Then you should be familiar with the question I'm about to ask. Would you rather have every restaurant and bar have table wars like the first, or every restaurant and bar have a drink passport like Zeno's?
Table Wars.
Table Wars. Yeah.
Table Wars.
Yeah.
For the listeners who don't know, Table Wars is a time-honored tradition of the first, and the first is set up a lot like a beer hall with picnic tables and group sitting. And as you're sitting there, people will chant a song. You come up with any kind of phrase or chant, song, whatever it is, and then they'll pass it to another table, and you have better be ready to answer.
It's pretty awesome.
It's pretty fun.
Pretty awesome, pretty fun.
I can't tell you that I remember much about Table Wars, because usually when I was doing Table Wars, I wasn't, on my first beer. Let's put it that way.
No.
And don't stand in front of the hydrant.
Truth.
As probably the one person here that hasn't participated in that event. It sounds awesome. Is there any place around Pittsburgh that does anything like that?
No.
No?
Nope.
Shit.
Nope.
Well, I guess I'll have to make a trip out to Penn State.
It's
Yeah.
a unique experience going to that
Yeah.
bar for sure.
Sure is.
The best way to load up for that, Sam, is to learn the lyrics to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song. That'll get you,
Right.
That'll get you in the game.
door.
That'll get you in the game.
Well, yeah, I was a Fresh Prince fan back in the day.
Yeah, I think I could rattle off all the lyrics.
I bet I might be able to. At least the first verse. I think there's a second verse on like a Will Smith or
On
DJ
one of his
Jazzy
CDs.
Jeff
Well,
album.
no one knows that verse. I mean,
Right,
I'm surprised
exactly.
that you even mentioned that, because I didn't even know that existed.
I think it does. Don't
Yeah, if you can deep dip into Parents Don't Understand, then yeah, you'll really be in.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's a deep. Well, I guess it's not that deep of a cut, but I don't know how many people listen to that song.
Can you at least get into Summertime with DJ Jazzy Jeff as well?
Yeah, maybe that one. Definitely some Miami if we're.
there you go.
taking it to the 90s.
There you go.
Straight Will Smith.
Abi Abi.
Get jiggy with it.
Yeah, bienvenido, Avi Avi. All right, so we're gonna stick with the Penn State theme for a second with this next question here. I mean, I had to ask this because I'm a big college football fan. I went to Grove City though, so most people don't even know they have a football.
So
Second
you had
biggest
to
rival, I
adopt
think.
another team.
I did not another team, but my wife grew up in Talmadge, Ohio, and her family's obviously huge
Oh,
Ohio
boy.
State fans. Big rival for you guys. So here's my question to you. And once again, I don't have any loyalty to either of these teams, so I'm just asking the question purely for what it is. Would you rather host an Ohio State tailgate party here at the brewery while wearing a Penn State jersey, or would you rather host a Penn State tailgate party here at the brewery while you guys personally wear an Ohio State jersey?
The second Penn State tailgate party with Ohio State jersey. I'm all right with that.
You would put it on?
Yeah.
for the party?
Yeah, I would definitely just spill black and USSR all over it. You wouldn't even be able to know what color it is, and then I'd have a really good time. So, yeah, I'd wear that Ohio State jersey.
What about you, Sean?
I think that's the only option because we'd get nobody else coming in here if there's Ohio State tailgate party here. I mean, except for those fans, but they'd be kept outside in the outside area.
Right.
And then people would not want to walk through that. So I could wear the jersey fine
I guess profits would go
because
up.
they'd probably just figure I lost a bet. And
We
realize,
charge all Ohio State guys like 3 times the amount of regular beers, so $18 for a
makes
glass that we
sense.
choose. You know?
Yeah. Could be somewhat profitable.
Yeah, you can change your prices.
Yeah, there you go.
Smart thinking.
Yeah, that's funny. You know, it's interesting. Like, there's so many loyalties to college football. Like, everywhere you go, you can usually find somebody from like a Big Ten school that either went there or that's a huge fan. Like, you can literally stand in a crowd and yell like OH, and somebody will yell IO back at you.
Or you go,
well, we are.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're cut off.
Somebody give him.
Yeah.
Give me his
Somebody
last.
take the rest of my
Yeah, I'm
Siberian.
gonna
Except
take that
don't
from
do
you.
that or I'll punch you in the face.
Oh, this is getting competitive. These Ohio State fans on the left side of me.
No, I'm not an Ohio State fan. No loyalty to college, just like the Steelers.
So the next one, we're gonna get away from college football just a little bit here, and by a little bit I mean completely.
That's
Nice.
There are obviously a lot of beer festivals that go around in not only Pittsburgh but in the world. So would you guys rather go to a beer festival as brewers or as just straight up participants?
Participants now.
I guess it depends on what beer festival.
Let's say the Great American Beer Fest.
How did I know that was the one you were gonna go with?
I'm just saying. It's like, would you rather showcase on the national stage or just, hang out?
I mean, for me, I would like to showcase, that's for sure. Especially at the Great American Beer Festival. And if it's for a personal, if it's business, then, it's a business trip, which is really cool. If I'm going there personally, it comes out of the old pocket. So, so you gotta weigh the options. Am I going there on business or am I not?
I still think that counts as a write-off.
Well, true.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Because you can say you're doing research for your business, so that's still a write-off.
incorporate it right off as a business expense.
Hand out some business cards, you'll be fine.
And to be perfectly honest, the Great American Beer Festival, I would rather just be there as a participant. But something like any of the
Smaller ones.
yeah, like California, some of the smaller beer festivals in California that you hear of, that would be cool to be invited to those and be a brewery that's able to pour there.
It's more personal, at least that way.
Yeah.
When there's hundreds upon hundreds of people.
Right.
it's just-
So I guess
Hard
the
to-
answer is both.
Wow, that's a cop-out, isn't it?
Depending.
Depends on which one.
Yep.
Speaking of that beer festival, by chance, have either of you guys been to it?
Yeah. Great American Beer Festival.
You have?
Yep.
Just once, but-
Incredible.
Oh, it's very cool. Yeah, it's a great experience. I would recommend that anybody who's a beer lover to go out there at least once to experience it.
I mean, it's
very
absolutely
overwhelming.
unbelievable.
It's huge. It's enormous. You can't drink all the beers there, obviously,
Yeah.
but
The stuff going around it is
cool.
even better than the festival is itself. What all the breweries and bars have going on events-wise around that make it worth going almost like a vacation, like stay there for 5 days. the festival,
Yeah.
you go there one day and you walk around. And it's like, okay, that's cool, but then go to the breweries and see what they're doing because that's where all the fun stuff is.
Really?
Yeah,
See,
it's
that's
neat.
interesting to know because I've looked into it before and I was like, well, if I'm going to make it a vacation, and I go out there, I'm probably just going to buy a pass for every day and just go to the beer festival for 4 days straight. But, if there's,
Right, yeah.
if there's a lot of other cool things
So
going
much stuff
on,
to do out there then.
yeah, maybe check some of that out as
You
well.
walk into that center where the festival is and you almost get
Overwhelmed.
overload. Like there's just hundreds of booths there, and like where do you start? Who do you even go? I mean, you might mark on a list what you want to do, but it's just almost too much.
And
Yeah,
sometimes if you want to hit 5 different breweries, and it just so happens that all 5 are in a different region, like literally they have like northwest, northeast, central, and they have all these regions separated, so that's where the breweries are. So if you want like one in the northeast and then you want one in like
Oh, God.
the south or northwest and one in the southeast,
call an
they
Uber or
could be
something to get
yeah, you gotta call an Uber or take your Segway to get over there, man.
Get some of those like little, what do they call them, inline shoes or whatever with the wheels on
yeah,
there. You
yeah.
can skate across.
God.
Yeah.
I'm sure that would go
Break your neck.
Yeah, go perfectly.
What a great vacation.
perfect match with alcohol.
Yeah, Heelys and beer, great.
Right.
Smart.
Heelys, that's what they're called.
That's
Heelys.
I can tell you're not in insurance, Sam.
Hell no. I'm the reason your policy is so high.
Yeah, but all in all, I mean, beer festivals have their place. They're cool, but it's just one of those things where sometimes you'd rather be the participant and sometimes you'd rather be the beer reporter.
Gun to your head. Would you rather?
Come to your head.
Yeah, we're just
serious
turning it
now.
up a notch,
Yeah.
dude. We're drinking Siberian Highway here. So, would you rather sit down and listen to Creed's discography from start to
God.
finish, all the CDs, every song, can't skip anything?
Creed?
Creed,
Wow.
right? So, yeah.
Even the live
Not
albums.
Creed.
Yeah, live albums, everything, right? Acoustics,
CC.
Creed from start to finish, all the albums. Or would you rather sit down and watch all the Transformers movies from start to finish?
Oh, 100% Transformers.
I would do Transformers.
Yeah,
I can
go
enjoy
Transformers.
crappy action movies.
Me too. I enjoy the shit out of crappy action movies.
I don't have to think or
Explosions,
anything.
Yeah. Optimus Prime comes in and just starts wrecking shit. Yeah, I'm good with that. That's pretty.
I don't think I'd make it through the complete discography of Creed.
Nope, not at all. Yeah, that would be a tough one.
One
Pretty picky about
CD
music.
in, you'll be drinking more than Scott Stapp.
Yes.
Shit. Then who's gonna be 6 feet under?
It's okay to take those
He's
hot
not
takes.
dead. He's not dead.
No. But it's okay to take those hot takes at him because who cares? Scott Stapp.
He's not listening to the podcast, even if he is. Who
Even if he
cares?
We don't know that because we have Canadian listeners.
Wait, Scott Stapp isn't Canadian?
Isn't he Canadian?
No, you're thinking of Nickelback, my man.
That's all the same.
That's the same band.
No, Scott Stapp's like trailer trash from Florida.
Is he really?
Any Florida listeners?
All right, then. Not anymore.
They've all tuned out. We've dissed their idol, Scott Stapp.
They're idols.
I think he weighs like 18.6 Keurig, if I remember.
So I've got one last question. Would you rather give me more of that Siberian Highway or give me more of that Siberian Highway?
That's a tough one. You got me in a corner here. Guess we'll have to give you more Siberian Highway. Or go with B.
Sold.
There's no loophole out of this one.
This is pretty cut and dry.
So
Case is airtight.
Loaded question. I like your style, Adam.
Oh, man.
I will ask the same question, but with the wheat juice.
Open and shut case, Johnson.
yes, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah, let's get back
let's
to
get
this
into
beer.
this.
I mean,
Let's
we
get
got to get back to it.
Speaking of,
So Sam, we'll start with you because you're one of the few ones that has beer left in their glass.
I know. Well, look, this is a beer that I truly believe I have to savor. Anytime I'm drinking, a Bourbon County Stout at KBS, as we were talking about earlier, even this I think is incredibly comparable to what we had on the show a couple weeks ago, the Oak-Aged Vanilla Worldwide Stout from Dogfish Head. I mean, these beers taste very similar to me. And I mean, I raved to hell about that beer. And this one's, just as good, if not better. It's fantastic. It's smooth. It's flavorful. And, I think you can even pull more flavors out of the beer as it continues to warm up. If you swirl it around in the
Absolutely.
glass, you
One beer
continue to
I
let that
don't drink very
oxygen
quick.
in.
Because it changes a lot, I think, as you.
Yeah.
Every sip is a little bit different.
It
Tastes other things.
really is. So that's why I've been trying to savor it. I didn't want to drink it too quick because I feel like every sip is a unique experience. And you know, I'm going to enjoy this last sip here and see if it changes at all. But, you know, great beer. Really, really enjoying this thing. A ton of flavor. Awesome. What do you guys have to say?
I will agree. It is also awesome. No, you've covered it all. It's a damn fine beer, and I will sign that paperwork right now. You covered it perfectly. I can't say anything more than what you did, Sam. Damn fine. Would drink again.
I'm glad you like my description, Adam. Thank you.
I mean, yeah, full agreement across the table. It's an amazing beer. We can't help but compare it to those well-known, you know, lofty goals of the BCBS and the KBS and, you know, like the Deschutes Abyss. And like you just said, it is reminiscent of the Worldwide Stout. But here's the one thing between the two is I'm pretty sure I could have 2, maybe 3 of these. Whereas I don't know I can get past 2 Worldwide Stouts.
Those are 14 or 16%.
18.
Wow. 18,
it's a
20
big guy.
if you said it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's big.
So yeah, it's definitely a lot more. It's more enjoyable that you can have more of these and actually take the time to savor it. And you know, if you had a bottle, you know, which I can't imagine how much that would run you, but it would definitely be an enjoyable experience to just sit with it all day, and you know, have it as dessert or just have it by your campfire or whatever you want to do with it. It's
Great one
amazing
to have
beer.
coming up on Christmas dinner.
Absolutely.
I mean, Thanksgiving dinner, yeah, maybe. I got a couple pumpkins left that
Yeah.
I need to enjoy some Imperial pumpkins, but this one's got
Do you?
Christmas written all over it.
Yeah, this is definitely a Christmas beer.
Pairs well with dessert.
Now, do you guys have any plans to, you know, do a similar style of bourbon barrel aged beer with, you know, another style or another variety of beer that you brew? Anything else, you know, on the agenda that we can look forward to? Because this is amazing, and I'd love to see what you can do with, you know, some of your other great beers.
Yeah, well, the one thing that we have right now is kind of a space problem. We can't really store too many barrels, but we are rectifying that, which is kind of cool. In the next year, you'll see a lot more barrel-aged beers from us. A substantial amount more. We plan on doing this one again. We plan on doing many more beers, sours in barrels, and also putting other random things in barrels. So a lot of plans for the future for that sort of thing, yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say
That's
that's
exciting.
great to hear. Very,
Exciting
very
news.
exciting. All right, so this is going to be pretty tough for us to do this time because, you know, the beers are fantastic, and we have really transcended the styles here with a red ale and a hoppy wheat and then a barrel aged stout. But you know, let's put them on the podium and see how these rank against one another. So, Adam, I'm going to turn it over to you first, and let's hear what your rankings are.
Yeah, we all know what he's gonna pick.
Can't separate.
We choose first.
We choose second, and we choose third.
So in the bronze position, all 3 of these come with a little bit of a caveat. To say that there are any losers in this bunch is a misnomer. All 3 of them are very good beers. However, one has to go in the bronze position. And for me, and I know Sam is not going to like this one, but I have to say it, the Wheat Juice.
Hey, it's your podium, not mine.
You're damn
We
right.
all know where it's going to be on mine, so it's gonna balance out real nicely.
First, second, and third, right? It was enjoyable. My only detraction on that one, and this comes down to personal taste, was there was a little bit of that hoppiness on the aftertaste, and that's just personal taste. I wasn't a huge fan of that. No big deal. In the silver position, the Camp Slap Red. That's a good beer. That's a good fall beer. That's one that definitely needs to be near the campfire on a cool, crisp day. Someone keeps handing me cans of that, I'll keep drinking it. No muss, no fuss on that one. But unfortunately, those 2 are completely overshadowed by the Siberian Highway. Holy bananas. That's a damn fine beer.
I didn't taste any banana in it.
Just wait till next
Next
year.
version.
Yeah.
Right.
Put it on the
Done
dartboard.
yet. Yeah.
So that was in the gold medal position. That was far and away a phenomenal beer, and I will be drinking it again.
Steve, you are up, my friend.
So I'm actually going to agree with Adam's rankings.
Boom.
Surprisingly, but the only the only difference I have between the wheat juice and the Camp Slap Red is that I just find more utility in the Camp Slap Red. The wheat juice I find to be more of a spring summertime, whereas I think Camp Slap I could drink all year, and that's the only like they're both fine beers. I would drink them anytime given to me. But with that said, we've run into this problem before where there's just one beer that's a runaway champion.
Usain Bolt came to town.
Yeah, that Siberian Highway is amazing. That's an amazing stout. I would drink that over pretty much almost anything else. Sam?
All right, so for me, it's going to be a little bit different here from what you guys said, but that's all right because it's my podium and not yours, so I can do whatever the hell I want now that I got the mic again. So in third place for me, we're going Camp Slap Red. A great beer. Steve said it's a utility beer. It's something you can drink year-round for sure. Nice balance between the malt and the hop, and it's a little bitter, but not too bitter. It's a very easy drinker. Now in second place for me, I'm gonna go with the Siberian Highway.
Oh,
look! This beer is amazing.
Shame.
It is amazing. No, not shame. I'm not saying anything but great things about this beer, but it is amazing. I mean, it encaptures so many different flavors, and as Sean told us earlier, I mean, each flavor is truly a different sip. It is something you have to really try for yourself to really get the full flavor and see what you taste. Because I feel like I could taste this beer and somebody else could taste something completely different, even though we're drinking from the same bottle. There's so many different flavors in it. But, for me, that's coming in second because, the wheat juice, and it's slightly above the Siberian Highway, but the wheat juice to me is the bomb. It is just so good. It encompasses everything I like about beer drinking. It is hoppy and it is flavorful, and it is citrusy, and you can just sit there and drink, multiple beers. It's good in the summer. I drink it in the winter. I'll drink it by the pool. I'll drink it by the fire. I'll drink it in the bathtub. I'll drink it, I don't know, while I'm doing yard work. I'll drink it in the car while I'm driving to work. No, I'm not going to do that.
Say, if you get busy in the Burger King bathroom, I'm out of here.
Maybe not a Burger King bathroom, but definitely in a Burger King. I'll have a wheat juice while I eat a Whopper. It's no problem. But yeah, to me, it's like the perfect beer. It's fantastic in every way. It's really something of beauty. So that is going on top of my podium today.
All right, so this is the point in time where we make it really hard on Kyle and Sean and ask them to rank their babies. So go ahead and start.
Siberian Highway Wheat Juice Camp Slap.
Which order? What was that?
Whatever order you want to take it in.
Jeez. Third place would be wheat juice for me. Second would be Camp Slap, and first would be Siberian Highway.
I can
See,
dig it.
the right side of the table, Sam. Everybody who gets it correct.
Hey, this table is a circle, so any table could really be the right side.
He's got you there. Knights of
Ruining the
Round Table.
illusion.
2 and 3, basically no difference, but 1, it was my favorite beer ever to make and taste, so
It's pretty
it
damn
holds
good.
It's damn fine beer.
All the beers are damn good. Not just the beers we had today, but I mean, I've had a number of beers from Grist House. I know you guys have as well. You guys have obviously tried them all, and you guys do an awesome job down here. And
Thanks, guys.
we really can't encourage
appreciate
everybody enough. I mean, Grist House has been on, the top of some of the Pittsburgh best lists and polls, and it's a great opportunity to get down here, drink some beer, play with some dogs. They always have food trucks. Sometimes you can throw some axes. I mean, there's just all kinds of stuff you can do down here at the brewery. So come down. What are your hours, guys? When are you open? When can people come down and find you?
We're open Wednesday through Sunday. The hours vary a little bit. Wednesday through Friday, we're open 5 to 10. Saturday, 2 to 10, and Sunday, 2 to 8. You can always check us out on gristhouse.com. We have a running schedule of all our food trucks, events, things like that. Like us on Facebook. You'll be able to follow us. Keep updated with our new beer releases, and we're always sign up for our newsletter. We're always trying to keep everybody in the loop every week. And that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this, and it was a pleasure being here with everybody.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank you guys for having us
Thank you
on
guys.
here. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us here.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Great to hang out with you guys tonight. Have some fun. Before we sign off, Steve, if you want to give the Hop Nation social media bugs.
Yeah, so Grist House tells you how to find them. If you want to find us on social media, all you have to do is search Hop Nation USA, and you can find us on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. And you can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, and Google Music Play if you want to listen to brand new episodes of the Hop Nation USA podcast every Friday. And if you're on there, subscribe, leave us a review. Pretty much 5 stars, because we are a 5-star show. That's what we deserve.
Agreed.
So our guests are agreeing. You have to do it now.
Plus, it helps grow the show.
And it helps us grow the show, and it helps more people find out about us and about Grist House, one of the best breweries in Pittsburgh. And if you want to just visit the website, hopnationusa.com, there's plenty of reviews and features, a lot of other content that you can't find on the show. You can also revisit every episode. And that's all I got about that.
All right. Well, thank you again to Kyle and Sean from Grist House. Really appreciate you guys, doing a show with us tonight. For all the listeners out there, get your ass down to Grist House Brewery in Millvale. Say hello to Kyle and Sean while you're down here, and have some really, really tasty beer. Anything you choose is going to be top notch. Give it a shot. Let us know what you think, and happy drinking, everybody. We'll see you next week.